Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Ella, and if you're new here, hello, welcome. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video. For those of you who don't know, I suffer with chronic... I want to say I suffer with chronic kidney disease. I don't want to say that, but it is chronic kidney disease, but I also don't have a diagnosis, so it's not like I can tell you a name, but I've suffered with kidney problems since I was 13. I've had 12 operations on my kidneys. I had an operation a couple of days ago, so I'm still recovering and I'm not doing well, and I just wanted to come on and speak about it a little bit, really, because a lot of my problems come from having to go through the NHS, pretty much. I don't want to bash or feel like I'm not appreciating the NHS, because of course without it I literally wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't be able to afford all of the operations I have. I'd either be very much in debt or dead. So of course I appreciate the NHS, but it's causing me so many issues at the moment. Just like the waiting times and the fact that nobody ever listens to you. So I'm gonna try and not cry. So for the past year and a half, if you haven't watched my videos that I made about my kidney problems that I was going through in 2020, you can look through. I'll link them down below. I had 2 operations in 2020 on my kidneys, and then a couple of months after that my kidneys started causing me pain again. The main problem for me is the development of kidney stones. My whole kidneys, both of my kidneys, are just full of kidney stones. It's like lime scale on a kettle, and the calcium breaks down and then the stones travel down through my tubes. Sometimes they pass, most of the time they don't, and they cause me massive problems. And so for the past year and a half, I've been feeling pains in my kidney, and I can't tell you how in touch I am with my body now. I know exactly what's going on. And CT scans often don't show up what's going on in my kidneys. If I have a stone travelling down, yeah, it will show it up, but otherwise, if it's just stones moving around in my kidney, on a CT scan, my doctor explained to me that it's really difficult to tell stones attached to the flesh and stones that have become detached. You can't tell them apart, and so it's really hard to tell if there's loose stones in my kidney or if it's all just in the flesh. When it's in the tissue, it doesn't cause me pain. It's when it starts moving down, it causes me pain. And if it continues to move down, it can cause some serious problems. So for the past year and a half, I've been on and on and on and on at my hospital. So I used to go to UCLH for all of my surgeries. That's where I had my last surgery at. And since then, I don't know if it's due to the pandemic, I don't know, but I've literally been unable to contact them. They've been completely ignoring all of my calls, all of my emails, all of my cries for help, saying that I've been in pain and I feel like a ticking time bomb. So instead, I decided to move to Royal Free for both my investigation side of things and my surgeries. I never used to have surgeries at Royal Free. And so for the past year and a half, I've been contacting Royal Free, my consultant, saying, look, I can really feel like stones are moving. I feel like I'm in a lot of pain a lot of the time. Obviously it comes and goes, but something isn't right, and I really need an operation booked in to go up into my kidneys and remove the stones that are in there. The reason why I need that is because that's a preventative surgery. So it wouldn't be an emergency surgery, but it's something that I need done to avoid emergency surgeries, because if we go up into the kidneys, remove the kidney stones before they come down into the tubes and cause blockages and and infections and all of that other crap stuff that stones stuck in tubes cause, then it will prevent me having to have an emergency surgery. You know, I need to have this. They've not found any sort of cure. They've not found anything that I can do to prevent this from carrying on. I'm so sorry. They've not found anything in the 13 years that I've been under their care that is a reason for me to be building up this much kidney stones. You know, I don't have any sort of diagnosis. They've tried everything, and it's a very, very rare case that they haven't seen anything quite like before. I'm special. So I've been asking, and I've been telling them, like, I really need an operation to prevent emergencies happening. Like, I've felt like I've been walking around like a ticking time bomb. And then about a month ago, I can tell the difference in my pains as well. So, like, I can tell the difference from a kidney pain to pains in my tubes, in my bladder, you know, as you can imagine. And so I got a slightly different sort of pain, much sharper, much more intense. And that was about a month ago, and it happened for like 4-5 days in a row, and I just took really strong painkillers and kind of carried on going with it, hoping that it was a stone passing, and that I just had to get through the next week and it would pass. Not that that ever really happens, but I just kind of didn't want to go into hospital at that time. And then I got a job, and so I was filming a job for a new advert that's going to be coming out within the next couple of months, and I'm so glad that I held out to be able to film and do that job, because I'm self-employed. Like, otherwise I can't earn money if I'm just stuck being ill all the time. So I managed to do that. Halfway through that job, I got this pain again. It's been really uncomfortable when I go to the toilet, when I go for a wee. It's been really, really stinging, and like I've literally felt like I've been peeing hot lava. And I felt that pain in my left side again, like right at the front of my abdomen, shooting down sort of pain. Classic kidney stone pain, right? Kidney stone not in my kidneys, kidney stone travelling down sort of pain. Like, I really can differentiate these. So the pain come back, I finished the job. Like, honestly, I don't think many people would be able to do what I do. Like, just finish a really physically demanding job while in so much pain and not even complain once, because I'm so used to being in pain. Like, it's not something to brag about, but I am kind of going to brag about it because I think it's quite impressive. And then the pain continued. It wasn't fading like it had last time. And so instead of just taking really strong painkillers, I was like, right, unfortunately, the only option for me in this situation is to go to A&E. Now, I don't think this should be an A&E problem. I don't think someone who knows exactly what's going on, has a chronic condition, is having a flare-up, should be an A&E problem. Like, I think I should be able to go to a consultant, my specialist, and be like, well, what do I do? Then they get me in, rather than clogging up A&E with something that I absolutely know is the case. Like, I'm not going, it's not an accident. I guess it is an emergency, but it's not an emergency. I mean, it can be, so I don't know. So I went to A&E. Another reason why I don't like going to A&E is because they never take you seriously. They never assume that you know about your body more than them. Especially going there, I had little French plaits in. I literally look about 16 to some people. Like, I do not get taken seriously. And went to A&E, waiting for hours and hours, had blood tests, had a urine sample. They were both coming back okay, and they said, okay, so we're going to send you home with some antibiotics, you know, just see if this fades. And I said, no, I'm not being sent home with antibiotics. I've got a stone there, like, antibiotics are going to do nothing for that. And they're like, well, if you do have a stone, you know, we don't want to do any more CT scans on you, because I have so many CT scans, and this is another problem. Like, I know CT scans are not good for me in any way, and I don't want to continue having CT scans, but they don't believe me. They don't believe that I know that I've got a stone in a particular place unless they do a scan to prove it. And so They were like, well, we'll send you home and see if you can pass the stone. And I was like, that's not happening. It's been stuck here for a month. I felt it for a month. Like, I know it's not going to pass. This is just going to cause more problems down the line. If you send me home with a stone that's potentially blocking my kidney, you can imagine how detrimental that can be. So I was literally like, no, not doing that. Can you contact my consultants? They spoke to my consultant, and my consultant was like, let's do a scan on her, because that's the only way we're going to know. Bearing in mind, every time I have CT scans, it's putting me under so much radiation that I know is not going to be good for me down the line. And if they're just like, I would honestly much prefer for them to just believe me and just go up and operate, because even if there's not a stone stuck, there will be stones in my kidneys. It's not going to be a wasted operation either way, and I wouldn't have to keep having CT scans every time I knew that something was there. Like, it just seems so silly. So I had a CT scan, and then they came back. I'm still like sat in A&E, and they're a bit like meek, is that a word? Like tiptoeing back in, and then they came in and they're like, oh, so you have a 8mm stone blocking your left kidney, but we're gonna try and we're gonna admit you overnight, and we'll see if it passes overnight. And I'm just like, where is the logic? What do you mean, see if it passes? It's been stuck there for a month, and it's 8mm. That's huge. I've never passed a stone that big in my life. Like, I've had 4 3mm stones that have been stuck in my kidneys and in my tubes. Like, this is going nowhere. And I was just like, so all of that, 8 hours, CT scan, multiple blood tests, urine sample, just to prove exactly what I could have told you when I first went in. So I was admitted into the hospital. I was going to have the operation the next day, but it got cancelled, so then I had it the day after that. And I said to the surgeon, who is the emergency surgeon, so they're very different to, well, they're not that different, but it's a different surgeon to who I was planning on going with at Royal Free, because I now had no choice but to go in as an emergency. The thing that I was trying to say an operation would prevent, you know, if they would have just got a move on. And so I spoke to the surgeon, and he was like, right, so we're gonna, yeah, your left kidney is blocked, so obviously this is something that we have to operate on sooner rather than later. Bearing in mind, last time I had this exact thing, and I got sepsis and I ended up needing an nephrostomy. And then he was like, we're going to give you a stent and send you home with a stent. And I was like, no, like, I've had a stent before, and this is why I got a nephrostomy last time, because a stent is so much more painful for me. It's so painful. So we spoke about this, and we came to the conclusion that a stent is the absolute last option for me. Like, I really didn't want a stent, not only because it's so painful, but because I don't trust that they're going to remove it in the 2 weeks that they say they're going to remove it. I mean, I've had so much experience with countless operations, countless appointments being cancelled. I don't trust that they're going to just do this on the date and not cancel it, not keep pushing it back and keep me living with this stent that I can't remove myself, and that's more painful than a kidney stone for me. So we came to think that that's the last option, you know, please, anything else but a stent, anything else. Came out of the operation, I have a stent, so they couldn't, they didn't feel like they had any other choice but to give me a stent, because the stone had been stuck there for a month. The tube around it had impacted the tube so much. Everything was so swollen and bruised, and after he'd blasted the stone, the tube was practically closed. And obviously, if the tube closes, that renders my whole left kidney pretty much useless, because the tube is a vital part of that. Like, it needs to be functioning. And so obviously, okay, he didn't have much choice, but obviously they did, because if they would have just listened to me a year and a half ago, I would never be in this situation. So that's where I am right now. I currently have a stent in my left kidney. I came home from hospital not yesterday but the day before. I'm in so much pain. I'm in so much pain with it. I almost wish I never went into hospital, because the pain that I was experiencing with the stone is nothing compared to this. And I know that some people can get on with stents absolutely fine. I can't. I can get on with stones. I've dealt with that since I was 13. I can handle that. A stent pain is basically, for me, a stone pain is a very acute, sharp pain in one particular area if it's a stone. I mean, my whole kidneys can ache as well, but this stone pain was ouch, really sharp, really horrible pain in this one area. A stent is ouch, really sharp, really horrible, really achy pain in the entire left side of my body. It's not even just in one particular place now. I can feel it. I can feel a foreign body in my tube, and it's just awful. And so I'm at home. I'm so glad I've got a little bit of money coming in from this ad, because what the hell would I do otherwise? Not only am I not going to be able to work for the next 2 weeks at least, or audition for anything, because I'm in so much pain. I really hope it fades. I really hope I get used to the pain. Swelling still needs to go down. I'm sure the pain will get better in the 2 weeks. It's my birthday in a week, and I can have lots of plans for me for that, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to leave the house. Not only am I stuck with this for 2 weeks, so I get this out on the 8th, but because the hospital have kept cancelling my appointments, and not listened to me, instead of having 2 operations, this year that I would have needed to go up into my left kidney, remove the stones that are loose there, do the same in my right kidney. Instead of 2, I now will need 4 operations this year, because these 2 operations are wasted for me, basically, because now they had to go up into my left tube. They can't go any further up into the kidney. They can't touch the kidney or do anything that's going to help further down the line. They just have to focus on this one emergency stone that's blocking the kidney now. So they've gone up, they've removed that. Apparently it's a really difficult surgery. That's one. Then they have to go up, remove the stent that they put in. They can't do anything else at the same time as that either. That's 2. That's 2 operations that I didn't need when I first spoke to them about this a year and a half ago. And then they'll have to do the 2 operations that I've been telling them that I need anyway. So that'll be 4 operations this year. That'll take my total to 15 operations on my kidneys. I'm 26, almost 27. And there's no sign of anything getting better. There's no sign of this ever not being something that I have to carry on going through. It's just really, really shit. So, yeah, I'm sorry. That's not a very happy update. It's just so crazy how my life goes from such highs to such lows. Everyone's does, but last week or the week before, I was being put up in a fancy hotel in London. I was acting and performing in an advert. I'm the main person in this advert on a big, film set. I was doing wire work and flying and really feeling successful and feeling like I was doing a good job at life. And the next week, I'm debating, right, shall I move to this bed in the bedroom, to the bed in the living room, the sofa bed that we've got? Shall I manage that today? It's just such a contrast. It's really hard to deal with. So, but yeah, I just thought I would give you an update on what's going on with me. I think it's going to be a tricky next couple of months. I'm sorry if you can hear that sound. having the stent, and then I have a pre-op assessment on Friday for the operation that I actually need. So that will be happening a couple of weeks, I hope, after the stent. There's some major building work going on, so maybe that's a sign to stop like crying on camera and just go and chill out. I hope you're all well. I was really hoping it was going to be a better start to 2022. I mean, it was for the first like 2 weeks, and then it's all gone downhill, but it'll go back up again, and I have faith in that. And I'm sorry for coming on here and just crying, but I just feel like I needed to get what was going on in my life off my chest. Thank you to any new subscribers. I'm really sorry for this depressing content, but I hope to be relatable and show both the good and the bad parts of my life, and this is the part that I really struggle to deal with, and I want to speak about it a bit more because it's a huge part of my life. But yeah, I hope you're all well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which is hopefully a happier one. Bye.